Hi, how's it going? This is Resident of Collinwood for YouTube. I'm here to give my review and reaction and review to Dark Shadows episode 46. If you're watching this on Tubi, this would be season 2, episode 11. Here we go. Uh, there, there is the Great House. I like how they give a close up of Roger's face, Lewis Edmonds. This is written by Art Wallace, directed by Leela Swift. So we get Leela as director here. Art Wallace is back at the pen, and we get the close up of Lewis Edmonds' face. I love how we can see the scar. He he's so focused. It looks so serious. Uh, it's a nice shot when they go from having the Seaview Terrace as your backdrop, and then you're going in and you see a close up of an actor's face, and the actor you get is Lewis Edmonds' character, Roger Collins. So he's standing there. He's walking on. He's turning. He's walking towards the fireplace. Walking towards the portrait of Jeremiah. You're gonna get shot in 1700, kid. Uh, he's not a kid though. I'm calling him one. I love how he picks up David's drawing here. He gets up and he goes out to the foyer and gets his coat. He's getting ready to leave. Picks up the phone and he puts it back on down. The phone rings. As he's going toward the door, he comes back toward the phone and he picks it up. It's Burke. It is. I was right. Expect you at your office at 11. Your old friend Burke Devlin. But by the way, before I continue with this watch along, if you will, Tubi, buddy, pal, won't you listen to me? You got this wrong. Okay, what I mean by that is in the description, it says Bill issues a demand to Roger and Sam that they meet him at 11 a.m. in Roger's office. It's not 11 a.m., it's 11 p.m., okay? There's a big difference there. Okay, I'm done picking on Tubi now. So Bert tells Roger that, hey, Bill Malloy set this meeting up. Yeah, Bill Malloy told him to come to the office, or Bill told him to come to your office, Roger. Yeah, he's like he has no right to tell you that. And he's messing with the phone cord. Bert hung up the phone, dude. He's like, Bert. This Edmonds just did a great job. He's like so shocked by all this. He's been trying to get out of this and avoid this, and now he can't. There's nothing left to do but to face the music. What I call, I said there was an episode I would call Nowhere to Run, and no, I would not call this episode Nowhere to Run. uh, Roger walks back into the drawing room. He picks up the other phone after he closes the drawing room doors. He's pro. He's like, I'd like to speak to Mr. Malloy. He calls Mr. Malloy's house. He must be talking to Sarah Johnson. He must be talking. He is talking to Mrs. Johnson. I wonder if Mrs. Johnson is probably telling, well, he's not here. But I also wonder if she's telling him, do you know what kind of boiled dinner I made for Mr. Malloy tonight? And he loved it. There's Miss Winters. There's Vicky. And she said, I think I leave David Strawley in here. And by the way, that's a drawing of Collinwood that she's holding in her hand that David apparently drew. The David drew. Roger did see the painting. Yeah, it's true. He tells Vicky he saw it. He's in no mood to discuss David's talents. Yeah, he is in no mood. He's in no mood because I love this dialogue here. So I'm listening to it. I'll give you my narration here in a minute. I love this here because Vicky's when Vicky is showing Roger David's drawing, because he saw the drawing all by himself. He picked up the drawing at the beginning of this episode, which we're still there. We're still only 4 minutes in, and he set it down and he did all that walking around picking up phones and stuff. And then he goes over after talking to Mrs. Johnson and hanging up the phone. He goes over and Vicky walks into the drawing room and she said, do you know where the drawing is? He goes, it's over there on the table. And she's trying to, show him. He goes, she goes, did you see this David's drawing? He goes, yeah, I saw it. And she goes, he drew this. He could have real talent. And Roger's telling her, I've got no time for this, like I was saying. But as Vicky says, we've seen David be destructive. Now he's being creative, and she wants to focus on that. And as Roger does say, so you plan to nurture it. And she goes, well, yeah. And Roger tells Vicky, you ever think David's first view of the world might be the correct one, like the destructive path? And it lets you know where Roger's mind frame is. But again, I think it's so interesting he says that. She's like, you don't think that? Oh, don't I though? He's like, I was once 9 years old. He's like, unlike him, Miss Winters, I felt joy in the spirit of living. And you did live very flamboyant lifestyle. Hmm. I like how Lewis Edmonds' character here is pointing out how the world can be very cruel in every way. And he's not wrong. Roger wants to re-see the drawing here. She's so excited about this drawing. I would be too. I mean, it's not, trying to kill anybody. I like how he says he's captured Collinwood. Yeah, I would believe a kid draw this. My daughter can draw really well, actually. She can draw characters very well. Like, she draws the Kirby characters and all that stuff. Not just Kirby, like other characters. Mennonite, she likes drawing. So Vicky tells Roger that Maggie Evans invited her to dinner. So Roger asks Vicky, you're going to have dinner with Sam Evans? Because Sam Evans is a painter. Roger's like, you sure you haven't met Sam Evans? She's like, oh, if I have, I am not aware of it. She has met Sam Evans, actually, a couple times. See? You first met Sam on Widow's Hill. And Rogers, let me tell you about Sam Evans. That's the Sam Evans painting. He's like, go away. There's a bandage on on David Ford's finger. I wonder if he injured himself. I didn't notice it before. Or do painters wear stuff on their finger to like protect something? I don't know. I'm not familiar with painters and how they work. So here's Frank Schofield's Bill Malloy. He's in here talking to Sam Evans. Sam Evans is saying he's trying to catch up on his work. He's not. And David Ford's character is saying, so I'm not sure how much time I'll have. And Frank Schofield's Bill Malloy says after tonight, you'll have all the time in the world. Bill's strategy basically is he's going to get everybody in the room. Remember the scene where there's a scene in an episode where they're all in the drawing room and it's Sam Evans, it's Burke Devlin, and it's Roger, and they're basically bullying Roger into the truth. I think that's what they were going to. I don't think they're going to do that necessarily because we know they're not. But that's basically how I think that scene would have played out if they would have wrote it in. It's not it's that's not gonna happen. By the way, Bill Malloy's gonna get killed off. So Sam asks who's all gonna be there, and Bill tells him me, Burke, you, Roger. Sam tries to get out of this, but he's like, "No, you're coming." Bill's like, "You're coming." Sam's like, "Bill, you got to go on truck, man." Bill, Sam's like, "No, I'm not coming." Bill, what are you scared of? I like that. Sam's, Bill, you better get out of here. So Bill Malloy says to Sam Evans, I think Burke Devlin went for jail to a crime he didn't commit. So he's going to tell, that's what he's going to tell Burke. This is what he wants Burke to hear. Sam's like, and you'll destroy me? And Bill Malloy said, if that's what you deserve. So Sam Evans is threatening Bill Malloy. He's like, I'll warn you, I'm not going to let you tear apart the one shred of life I have. And he says, what about Maggie? He's Bill Malloy. I like how he's poking him in the chest. Bill, Roger Collins' office. Be there. 11 o'clock tonight. That's dark, by the way. It's dark. So it's nighttime. It's nighttime. This is what, the 5th day, I think? 4th or 5th day? Roger, not that I know Evans well. So he just basically told Vicky that Sam drinks too much. He loves the. He just says that he's not the most pleasant person to be around. Neither are you, Roger. You're no ray of sunshine, dude. So Roger says that there are 3 or 4 other painters in the area, and I like Vicky's comeback. Well, none of them have invited me to dinner. And here we see that Roger does not want Vicky to have this dinner with Sam. So Vicky's prying into why Roger doesn't want her to go there. He doesn't want his son around Sam Evans. Vicky is going to suspect later, accuse of Roger that Sam has information about her past. Not, I don't think it's in this episode, though, if I recall. It's not in this episode. Does Bill Malloy die in this episode? Probably technically yes, but his death is more recognized, I'd say, in the next episode, and I'll get into that in the next episode. Speaking of Bill Malloy, she's like, Mr. Malloy. He goes, I want to see Roger Collins. And he's standing outside the drawing room like a boss. Frank Schofield is like the man. I would put Frank Schofield up against Michael Myers for sure. I would put no one against Michael. And Vicky asks, she's asking Bill Malloy about Sam Evans. She's trying to get information out of him, but she doesn't get full information out of him because Roger Collins walks out. So Roger and Bill Malloy go into the drawing room. And Vicky's just like, she takes the painting and drawing, her son goes upstairs. And he's like, you know about it, don't you? Bill Malloy does. Bill Malloy says that to Roger. I like how he's just giving people orders. Bill Malloy is just telling people, hey, 11 o'clock. He tells Roger, 11 o'clock, your office. He's like, I'm gonna get you fired. He's like, nope, we're all gonna have this out. Me, you, Sam Evans, Burke, definitely. Lewis Evans, I believe you lost your mind. What the writers do really good in this episode, they're planting the seeds of who's going to commit Bill Malloy's murder. Not just in this episode, but in other episodes. But here in this episode, you get Sam Evans at least threatening Bill Malloy. So the writers, the writers are trying to cast doubt into who the main suspect who's really going to commit the murder. So, and who's so Roger said, "Are you trying to destroy me?" And Roger says, "Are you trying to destroy me?" And I like what Bill Malloy just said. That's the same word Sam Evans said, "Destroy me." I like how Roger's like, "If you have anything for me and my family," Bill Malloy like, "Don't throw that at me." Bill's done a lot for the Collins family. He's even gonna die for. That's cold. That's cold. Oh my god. And I like how Roger's like, and I'm going to be the sacrifice. Is that it? I love the look on Lewis Edmonds' face, the intensity. This is all being done in the drawing room right here. This whole sequence. It's really, really good. As I was saying while they're talking, because Roger's saying Evans won't show up, and he's like, yes, and Bill Malloy's like saying, yes, he will. Again, like I was saying, they do a really good job of planting the seeds in this episode of who might kill Bill Malloy. Sam threatens him. Roger's threatening him to have him fired, but that's not really. So Bill Malloy's telling him, you leave here about 10 to 11, and we'll all meet at your office. So Bill Malloy's given an option. Either A, you can call the police and confess, or you can show up at 11 o'clock at your office. If you call the police, phone me at my home, and we won't have the meeting. So, I mean, this is basically you have two options: confess either to the police or confess to Burke. One or the other, something's going to give. It's going to be a corpse. It's going to be a body. Now, I'll get into Bill Malloy's death. It may very well happen technically in this episode, but I'd say it more happens in the next. He's dead by the next episode, but it's more recognized. That's something I'm going to get into. It's more recognized in the next episode, but it does technically happen here, though you don't see it. This isn't Jason McGuire. You don't get to see somebody die. You just know that they are gone. Well, he's initially reported missing. Nobody can find Bill Malloy. But he's yeah. By the end of this episode, he's dead. His character's dead. Frank Schofield will not be. Well, he'll play Bill Malloy's ghost. He'll play Bill Malloy's ghost. But living Bill Malloy, no. We'll So Victoria walks in on the conversation. She wants to talk to Roger about Sam Evans. See, now she's remembering she met Sam Evans at Widow's Hill. Yeah, it is in this episode. It is in this episode. I was wrong. So Vicky does say it. He might say know something about me, and I love Lewis Edmonds here. He's laughing because he's right. Sam Evans doesn't know nothing about. So Sam Evans' knowledge is deep at the bottom of the bottle. She says, I intend to talk to Mr. Collins. I want you to know that. So yeah, it is in this episode. All right. All right. Nice. She's like, Roger, her pass, and he's like laughing about it, but he's having another sip of brandy. He's taking another drink, another sip for courage. That's what that is, too. Another sip for courage. Vicky said she didn't know what time it was Roger left. She's right. I mean, it's hard to tell what time it was, but we're going to get a shot at the grandfather clock. It's about 10, 10:25. And now it's 11 o'clock. Now it's 11 o'clock. 30 minutes went by fast. We're inside Roger's office. That's why the clock jumps. Yeah. So 35 minutes. They did a 35-minute jump in this episode. Beautiful. Burke's already there. There's Sam. There's Roger. I like Burke's son. I've been waiting here 10 years for this. And that's the end of it. That's the end of the episode. So I'll get into Bill Malloy's death a bit in episode 47. Again, by the end of this episode, is his character officially dead? I mean, he is dead. He doesn't show up to the meeting. Spoiler alert. So, all right. Hope you guys enjoy this video. And yeah, I didn't think that was in this episode, but yeah, it is. It is in this episode where Vicky questions Roger about Sam Evans possibly knowing something about her past, which I like because though he doesn't, I love Lewis Edmonds' reaction. Great acting in this episode. See you guys.